Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome, everyone, to a deep dive into something, well, something you likely have sitting in your kitchen right now.
Yeah, just a simple pantry item, really.
Exactly, but one that holds a surprising array of health secrets.
And we've got a fantastic stack of material here, articles and research you've shared, all focusing on the health benefits of olive oil.
Right. And our mission today is to go through these sources, pull out the most important insights, and really get a handle on what olive oil is and, just how wide-ranging its impact can be on your health.
Absolutely. We're talking everything from your internal systems right down to skin and hair health.
It definitely seems to go far beyond just being a cooking ingredient.
Oh, absolutely. Your sources make that abundantly clear right from the start.
So diving right in then, what's the fundamental definition these sources give us for olive oil?
Okay, so at its core, it's described as a natural fluid oil produced simply by pressing olives.
Simple as that. And the type of olive matters for flavor, doesn't it? Like I think they mentioned Mediterranean ones.
Exactly, yeah. The source material notes that the olive variety influences the taste profile. Mediterranean olives, for instance, they can give flavors that are both mild and maybe a touch bitter.
Interesting. And that distinction in flavor seems to tie directly into quality, which is like a major theme running through all this material.
Definitely.
How do the sources differentiate between refined and unrefined olive oils?
Well, it really boils down to the processing. Unrefined oils are basically pure,
Pure how?
meaning they haven't undergone any thermal or chemical treatments. And this lack of processing leaves them with a sharper, more well-pronounced flavor.
Okay, so refined is the opposite then, more processed.
Precisely. Refined oils are processed specifically to iron out any imperfections, as they put it.
Right.
This results in a lighter color and a much softer, less intense taste.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting because the sources are pretty adamant that quality isn't just about taste.
Not at all.
It seems paramount for the health benefits. They consistently point to extra virgin olive oil, EVOO, as the star performer. So why? Why is EVO singled out as the most effective type?
Well, the key, according to all this research, lies in how EVOO is actually produced. It's obtained through a process called cold pressing,
Cold pressing.
and crucially, without any chemical treatments involved.
Okay, so what does that gentle cold process preserve? What makes it better?
Well, it results in an oil with a very low acid content, below 0.8%. But maybe more importantly for health, it retains its natural structure and significantly a higher content of beneficial compounds, like polyphenols. These polyphenols pop up again and again in your sources as being absolutely crucial for the health effects.
And that strong, fruity flavor they mentioned for EVOO, is that like a sign that these compounds are actually there?
Yeah, that flavor is often a good indicator that the natural compounds have been preserved. The sources really emphasize that this natural cold-pressed quality and, the high levels of polyphenols are precisely why EVOO is the most beneficial.
Makes sense.
And they also suggest it's best used cold, or maybe with very low temperature cooking, to protect these valuable compounds and the taste.
Okay, so let's talk more about those beneficial compounds. The sources list several key players. What are they, and what are their sort of fundamental jobs inside the body?
Right, so the research highlights monounsaturated fats, especially one called oleic acid.
Oleic acid, okay.
And alongside that, a whole team of antioxidants, those polyphenols we mentioned, a unique compound called oleocanthal, and also vitamin E.
That's quite a list. And their core actions, what do they actually do?
You can think of them as internal protectors and regulators, essentially.
Hmm.
The antioxidants, for example, they help reduce oxidative stress.
Oxidative stress. Okay, that sounds like something you definitely don't want. Can you simplify that a bit?
Absolutely. Imagine your cells are like tiny machines constantly working, right? Okay. Sometimes unstable molecules called free radicals sort of bounce around and can damage these machines, leading to wear and tear over time. That's basically oxidative stress.
Huh.
Antioxidants in olive oil are like the repair crew in shields. They neutralize these free radicals and help prevent that damage.
Got it. Like rust prevention, but for your cells.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. And beyond that, the oil has strong anti-inflammatory properties, helping to calm down inflammation throughout the body. It also seems to support the body's ability to fight off certain bacteria and infections. So by fighting free radicals and calming inflammation, it helps prevent cell damage and supports overall cellular health.
So those foundational actions then have this kind of ripple effect across different systems in the body.
Precisely.
And the sources really delve into this. Let's maybe start with cardiovascular health. The heart and blood vessels, what do they report there?
Yeah, this is a major area covered. The sources explain that consuming olive oil, particularly EVOO, tends to increase your levels of HDL cholesterol.
HDL, that's the good cholesterol, right?
That's the one, high-density lipoprotein. And at the same time, it helps lower LDL cholesterol, the low-density lipoprotein, or bad cholesterol.
Okay, that shift in the cholesterol profile sounds pretty significant.
It really is. This change reduces the risk of atherosclerosis,
Right.
the buildup of plaque in your arteries, and generally lowers your risk of heart disease.
Right.
The monounsaturated fatty acids we mentioned, the oleic acid, are specifically credited with preventing what the sources call vascular occlusion.
Vascular occlusion. Okay, what does that mean in plain English?
It basically just means a blockage in your blood vessels.
Okay.
So by helping prevent that, these fats help regulate blood pressure and significantly reduce the risk of major cardiovascular events like heart attacks and strokes.
And the polyphenols, they show up again in the context of stroke risk, don't they?
Yes, and this is fascinating. The polyphenols seem to actively work to reduce cholesterol accumulation, specifically in the blood vessels supplying the brain.
Wow.
So by keeping those pathways clearer, they reduce the likelihood of blockages occurring there, which directly lowers the risk of stroke.
That's incredible. Okay, moving from the heart and vessels, what does the source material say about olive oil's impact on, say, metabolic health?
Well, the research indicates it can play a role in reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes, and it seems to help stabilize blood sugar levels and might even support weight loss efforts.
What about the brain, thinking about neurological and cognitive health?
Yeah, this is another area the sources really highlight. They discuss a protective effect against neurodegenerative diseases, specifically mentioning Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, how does that work? Which compounds are involved there?
It seems to be the polyphenols and that unique compound, oleocanthal again. They're credited with supporting brain health,
Okay.
and the mechanism described is quite specific. They appear to help prevent the accumulation of harmful proteins in brain cells, like one called tau protein.
Tau protein, that sounds important and maybe a bit concerning if it builds up. What exactly is it?
Well, tau protein is actually a normal protein in our brain cells, but at certain conditions, like Alzheimer's, it can misfold and then clump together.
Right.
These clumps disrupt the cell's function, its communication. The sources suggest these olive oil compounds help prevent this clumping process.
Which would then help the brain.
Exactly. Which in turn seems to strengthen memory and protect overall cognitive function.
So it's helping keep the brain's internal structure healthy. Is this section where they give a kind of concrete recommendation for how much to have?
It is, yeah. Based on this research, they suggest consuming about half a tablespoon a day,
Half a tablespoon.
specifically of early harvest, cold-pressed, high polyphenol olive oil. And they note it's actually very easy to incorporate, just drizzle it on salads or other meals.
Simple enough.
And they also reinforce its role within the context of the wider Mediterranean diet, pairing it with fresh vegetables, fruits, fish, which as a whole package, they say, is strongly linked to reduced Alzheimer's risk.
Right, the whole dietary pattern. Okay, digestive health is another area the sources explore.
Yes, apparently it aids digestion by increasing the production of digestive enzymes.
Oh, interesting.
And it also helps regulate what they call intestinal motility.
Okay, intestinal motility. Basically how food moves through your gut, right?
Exactly. It helps keep things moving smoothly, which can help prevent constipation. The sources also mention potential benefits in reducing fatty liver.
And finally, on the internal health side, they touch on anti-aging and tissue health.
Yeah, vitamin E and those powerful antioxidants are key here again. They're cited for supporting tissue regeneration, essentially, the body's ability to repair and renew its cells and tissues.
So slowing down wear and tear?
Right, and delaying the effects of aging. By reducing that cellular damage over time, this also contributes to potentially slowing the development of chronic diseases.
That's a truly extensive list of internal benefits, all drawn from your sources. But they also explore applications beyond just eating it.
Right, for skin and hair.
Let's start with skin health. What's the story there?
Okay, for skin, vitamin E and that robust antioxidant structure are once again central to the benefits mentioned.
So how does actually applying it translate into healthier skin?
Well, the sources explain that by fighting those free radicals we talked about earlier.
Right, the cell rust.
Exactly. It helps delay skin aging and reduces the formation of wrinkles. It supports cell renewal, keeping skin tissue healthy. They also note it can provide relief from inflammation and irritation, which could make it good for sensitive skin.
Okay.
And it even seems to help reduce damage from harmful UV rays.
What about antibacterial properties for skin? Did they mention that?
Yes, the sources do mention these properties. They suggest it can help prevent bacterial growth on the skin, which could potentially reduce acne formation.
Interesting. And how do the sources recommend using it for skin? Just slather it on.
Well, they suggest applying natural cold-pressed EVOO directly. You can massage it into the skin gently or simply add a little bit to your existing skincare products.
So it's about hydration and elasticity too, I imagine.
Absolutely. The sources really emphasize that olive oil is excellent at maintaining the skin's moisture balance, preventing dryness, and improving elasticity, which is crucial for reducing those visible signs of aging. And remember those polyphenols again. They also seem to play a role in supporting collagen production, which is vital for skin structure and firmness.
Okay, moving from skin to hair, what does the research say there?
The benefits for hair, according to these sources, seem to stem from the oil's rich nutrient profile.
Right. What kind of specific benefits are listed?
Let's see. It provides deep moisturization, which is fantastic for dry or brittle hair, makes strands softer, less prone to damage. It nourishes the scalp thanks to the vitamin E and antioxidants, which increases circulation to the follicles, supporting healthy growth.
Scalp health, okay.
Yeah, and its antibacterial and antifungal properties might help tackle dandruff. It strengthens hair strands, preventing breakage and split ends, increases natural shine,
Sounds good.
and by strengthening follicles, could even help reduce hair loss and support healthier, more robust hair growth overall. Quite a list.
It really is. The sources actually give a fairly detailed method for applying it to the scalp and hair, don't they?
They do, yeah. They lay out the steps pretty clearly for getting the best results. First, they stress choosing a high-quality oil. Cold-pressed, pure, natural EVOO is the standard recommendation.
Makes sense. Quality first.
Always. Then, before applying, they recommend ensuring the scalp is clean. This apparently helps open up the pores for better absorption of all those nutrients.
And then the application itself, how should you do it?
Well, the key seems to be the massage. Gently massage the oil into the scalp using your fingertips, using circular motions. This isn't just about spreading the oil. It actually improves blood circulation to the scalp, which is crucial for nourishing the hair follicles.
Okay, scalp first.
Then, distribute the oil down through the hair strands, paying extra attention to the ends, especially if they're dry or brittle.
And how long should you leave it on to actually get those benefits?
The minimum recommended by the sources is at least 30 minutes. But for a deeper treatment, you can wrap your hair after applying maybe in a warm towel or shower cap and leave it for 1 to 2 hours. Or, they even note, leave it on overnight for a really intensive treatment.
Overnight, wow. And washing it out must be tricky.
They recommend rinsing with warm water first and then washing thoroughly with a mild shampoo. You want to make sure all the oil residue is removed.
Right.
And the sources suggest doing this treatment regularly, maybe 1 or 2 times a week, to really see the benefits build up for scalp health and hair growth.
Wow, okay. That is truly an extensive list of potential benefits, both inside and out, all derived directly from the material you provided.
It really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? That this common item is, well, anything but simple when you look closely.
Absolutely.
And the sources consistently underscore that unlocking these benefits really comes down to one key factor: the quality of the oil you choose, specifically natural, cold-pressed, high polyphenol types, like extra virgin.
And ideally consumed uncooked, they kept saying.
Exactly, to preserve those compounds.
Which circles right back to that critical point we discussed earlier. EVOO, obtained through that careful cold pressing process, is repeatedly presented as the most effective form in the research.
Absolutely. That's the recurring theme.
So reflecting on this deep dive into your sources, we've kind of journeyed from the basic definition of olive oil through the crucial distinction of quality like extra virgin, all the way to its really profound and multifaceted impacts: cardiovascular, metabolic, neurological, digestive systems.
Plus, significant potential benefits for anti-aging, skin health, and hair health, too.
It's quite the range. And understanding that quality distinction, the processing, the preservation of compounds like polyphenols is really illuminated in the material as the absolute key to accessing this wide spectrum of benefits.
It truly is.
And that right there, I think, is the power of diving into sources like these. You take something that seems utterly commonplace, just a simple fruit pressing.
Yeah.
And you discover it holds this extraordinary potential and complexity when you truly understand it deeply, guided by the information that's available.
It does leave you thinking, doesn't it? Like, how does this simple process of just pressing a fruit yield such a complex and, well, multifaceted set of biological benefits across so many different systems in the body. Or maybe, given how much emphasis was placed on quality and processing here, what potential might be hidden in other everyday ingredients if we just explored them and how they're made as deeply as we've just explored olive oil.